Alright, it is time to answer the big question. Now, as everyone may be aware, once you have either filled in the hippos or removed the steam locks, this door will open and it will be the end of the demo. However, at the end of the demo, you can see that the area behind this door is loaded. So what would happen if you were to get behind this door? Well, it's time to answer that big question. Hello guys, CS Gaming here, welcome back to the video. Now in this video we're going to be doing something really special, because today we are going to be playing Epic Mickey. Well, not really, as we are going to be taking a look out of bounds. So let's get started with Dark Beauty Castle, shall we? So one of the first things I wanted to check out is just what does the map look like after in this opening section. Well, out of bounds there is not too much to say on this area. As you can see, most of the buildings in the background are just they're just like spires in a whitish void. The sky is obviously just a spinning box which never ends, and yeah, all these objects over there, you can't see past them. There is a little bit of the underground area which I'll show off right now. So something very interesting is, if you've played the original Epic Mickey before this, because I mean this is only a demo, you'll know that at some point in the story you go through this big door. It's not during the sequence, it's way later on in the game. However, if you were to take the camera behind this gate, you will see that there is the area which you would go through. If my memory serves me correctly, there was a projector screen here later on, but the asset for behind the door is still loaded even in this opening section. When I first started this demo, one of the first things that I wanted to check out of bounds was under this thinner. Now obviously, as I've just explained, you do come back here later on in the story and this thinner does drain out. However, is the area that you would normally see under here still loaded? The answer is yes. Everything under the thinner is just the basic geometry that you would expect to find down here. Now something extra cool is that there is a concept art hidden down here. Now, by normal means, in the intro, you can never get this. The only time you can ever get this is later on during the story. However, it's still here in the demo, even though you cannot access the later half of the game, and underneath here currently is just nothing. Lastly, for this area, I wanted to see, is there anything under the trapdoor where the Mad Doctor goes? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. There is a little bit of like rubble under here, but there's nothing in the ways of actual anything special. I mean, obviously down here is just the regular stairs, but yeah, there's nothing too much special, unfortunately. Something else I wanted to point out is that when you first come up to this door, it will start a cutscene and then the doors will close behind you. Now, this area behind the door was not loaded before we took out the giant claw. It was just an empty void. Now, if you were to take the camera down here, you will see that it just ends at the not this part. Ignore that. Yeah, once you go down these like spiral stairs, it sort of takes an end. Obviously, you got the gear door here, but the gear door is not the end, as there it is. When you got to paint out this door, this is the current end, as just beyond here is where the game has to load the next area. As you can see, there's currently nothing past here, and this is going to be where the next giant section is. As you can see, there is already some areas of it loaded. There is a breakable treasure chest, but apart from that, there's nothing much here just yet. Now that we have just gone past this section, we can take a look at what's beyond here. And as you can see, the next area has loaded in place, and the towers that are around here before have unloaded and have been replaced by these other towers. Now I'll get into the rest of this area later, but we're gonna, let's just say there's someone interesting hiding below the map. So this is just after you've beaten the obviously, I guess you wouldn't even call it a mini boss fight. Just whenever you you've got past the cutscene with the spatters. Not spatters, they're seers, aren't they? Yeah. You'll have seen a cutscene with Oswald. If you're wondering where he goes after he goes through this door, he disappears. However, he doesn't disappear too far from the map, as if we go underneath, we'll see that he is hanging out right here in a T-pose. Good old Oswald. Even though we don't see you that much in this demo, it's good to know that you're still hanging around. You can take a good look at his model. The models in the remake look fantastic, by the way. Going outside of the final area doesn't show too much. As you can see, Oswald was the only real cool thing hanging out of bounds. Beyond the castle walls, which you can usually see, there's obviously not much. It's a cool developer tactic just to, if the player can't see past where they're supposed to, then there's no point putting in extra work to make sure hidden details are where they should be, because the player will never ever see it. So these towers aren't complete, they just cut off. If you're wondering about the gremlin that's on the catapult, I believe you can actually see this in-game by yourself, although it is a little far away. He is in the capsule before you break it, and he's of course in his animation of trying to break out. There's no sound effect for it, as of course you'd never really, well, you could never get this close to him. But yeah, he's in there, he's trying to break out. Here's a good look at him if you want. Capsules don't contain anything special, as does the catapult. Again, nothing too special here. The only thing to note is that of course, any e-tickets are 2D models. They will follow the camera, even though the camera should be behind Mickey. And the chests that you can break, they don't have anything inside them. Whenever you break them, that's when the game triggers the tickets to spawn. The last thing I want to point out in this area is that once you unlock the gates do actually stick around. You can still see the remnants of one gate here. They just simply slide into the ceiling and wait there. Alright, now the projector screen. This is where things get interesting. You see this scrolling film reel on the side? That's just a texture that climbs all the way to the top. Now the way that these film reels were done is that they are in fact a 3D level in a 2D plane. As you can see if I move the camera around, the film reel texture kind of follows the camera, which is really funny. Even though the camera is never really supposed to move. The camera is only supposed to move vertically. So, of course, that's where the camera's it's following us, because it's supposed to be locked in place. The stuff in the background is mostly just 2D, apart from the level which you can climb at the top. The sort of vine things that move around, they do have an end. Although you can never normally see it, this one goes really long for some reason. Let's find its end, shall we? I believe it clips through here. Yep, and it even goes through this object here. Oh my god, how many objects does this one go through? There we go. We've almost found its end. Here's its starting point. As you can see, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Something really cool which I found out is that the film reels, although they do follow the camera, they are in fact 3D. As you can see, they do have depth. Well, it's kind of hard to see because the film reels follow the camera. You can see that they are in fact 3D, unlike the e-tickets, which are 2D. Yeah, look at this 2D sprite. We all up for this 3D film reel. Yeah, inside the film reel there's nothing too special. Although you can see a little bit of the texture that you never normally get to see, which is the white bit underside the Mickey head. It was less so obvious in the original because of the bad resolution on the Wii. However, yeah, it's pretty obvious that the castle in the background is just a 2D image. Like the same goes for the glow behind it as well. All just 2D. The clouds you stand on are in fact 3D, although the projector screen does a bit hang off the edge of the cloud. There you can see the film reel outline. The film reel outline does end at the top and then it just loops back down. Obviously right back at the beginning where we started. Alright, a new area. We are now in the... I don't remember what this area is called, to be honest. I just know it as the tunnels leading up to the theme park area. These gears below the stage are moving really fast, by the way. It's cool just to see the skybox, which you never normally see until you get to the next area, which of course hasn't loaded in yet. Anything to note of behind the scenes? Not really here. You just get a good look. There is a gremlin over here. Spoiler alert, I already know who it is. It's Gus. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing here, although I'm pretty sure he does warp up here when you get to this location. But for now, he's just kind of hanging down here doing his idle animation. Enjoy yourself, Gus. Again, not too much to see out of bounds until we get to this section, where this is where you fight the spatters. Now, if you were to look down here, you can't actually see too much because most of it's covered under thinner, but unlike before, there is stuff underneath the thinner, including a leaky pipe, which you never normally get to see, and the full models for these, like, I don't even know what they are, like broken. This is like a broken teacup that's hanging out underneath the stage. Yeah, other than that, there is nothing else to report until we get to the next segment. Alright, I'm adding this part in afterwards as I've made a new discovery. So it turns out that earlier I said that the gust that spawns in here was the one that was hanging out underneath the map. That is in fact false, as if you go into the map you'll see that there is two Gusses. Again, I'm not really sure what this one's doing here then, as I thought it was this one, but no, I was mistaken. There are just two Gusses hanging out on this map. One thing I wanted to see is before this door opens, you get a cutscene with Oswald. Now, is he hanging out behind the door? He is not, unfortunately. And I even tried to find him on this map, and it does not look like he's anywhere. He's not underneath the map, as you would think. And he is not at the beginning of the boat ride either, so unless he's placed some weird place far off into the universe, I do not believe the Oswald that appears here is loaded in prior. There's not too much to say about this area, so I just thought I would give you guys a quick zoom out of the entire area that is currently loaded. Now you can even see just about over there is where the boats respawn. It's kind of funny watching them pop in and out. The area previously is unloaded, but as you can see, if we pop the camera down here, as soon as the door closes, another boat spawns, and the same goes for later on whenever a boat falls down like the sinkhole. It simply just respawns here. It's working on a constant loop. Alright, we've reached the final area for the demo. Or is it? Well, we're going to find out in a little minute. Underneath the thinner, again, there's not too much special. You can see the undersides of the boats. They're not any different from the other boat models you've seen before. The area which we just came in from has unloaded, just leaving the empty white void. Yeah, not too much else to see in this room. I guess you get to see the floating dots that hang up above these lights. Before we answer the big question. Alright, it is time to answer the big question. Now, as everyone may be aware, once you have either filled in the hippos or removed the steam locks, this door will open and it will be the end of the demo. However, at the end of the demo, you can see that the area behind this door is loaded. So what would happen if you were to get behind this door? Well, it's time to answer that big question. The answer is pretty simple. You have this giant hippo which you can see, including the collectible that is in his mouth. However, the area behind him is not loaded. You can see the outlines of where the geometry would be, but unfortunately the devs were kind of stingy and just left us with nothing. So even if you were to somehow glitch out of bounds and reach this area, I'm afraid the hippo is as far as you're going to get, as there is nothing else to see. Now I'll be curious to see when the full game actually launches. When you reach this section, will this area be loaded alongside? Or, because what could be happening is, of course, when the door opens, the rest of this area could load. However, I have seen, like spoiler, I guess, when the door does open in the demo, it does not load this area. However, my theory is that it will do when the full game releases. Either that or the next area will just be loaded. Yeah, I'm afraid that is it, guys, as there is nothing else to show. You've seen everything. So thank you guys for sticking around. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be, I'll probably be doing a video on the full and outbounds on the full game. Who knows how many episodes that'll be in, because obviously this game is very long. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.